is sunny, it's summertime here in the south of Sweden, and it's a new YouTube channel. Now, why do we need a new YouTube channel? Another one. We don't need one. But I'm going to do it anyway. And here's why. Have you ever wanted to play a musical instrument? Metal music. Particularly metal. Then this is what this channel's for. You're never too old to learn. You're never too young to learn. If you want to do it, go and do it. It will make you happy. I'm not kidding. Make the most of it. You don't know how long you're going to be here. You might die tomorrow. Who knows? So, go and do it. And I am going to teach you everything I know about music. And you might think, well, who are you? The good news is that I'm not paid by anyone. Like, I'm not a professional musician. I'm doing this for fun. My whole life I've been doing it for fun. So I'm not sponsored by anybody. Nobody gives me anything. If they gave me anything, I've got nowhere to put it. Like, I have a small house with a small garden, which is just big enough for what I want. I don't have to spend my whole life cleaning and doing work on this house. So I wouldn't have anywhere to put the stuff if someone sent me some stuff. I would just sell it or give it to somebody else. I don't need any more stuff. The stuff that I have, I bought because it is epic stuff. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. So I'm going to show you what I would do. If I was buying it now, what would I buy? I'll tell you what you should do to start out. Guitar, bass, drums, recording your own stuff at home. Building like your own little studio. We'll do it on a budget. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this stuff. And it is a lot of fun. The other thing I'm going to teach you how to do is something, the way that I taught myself to do stuff. Okay, so I created this technique when I was 18. I remember it clearly. March, April, May, June, when I was 18 years old. So I don't remember. 1999? I don't know. No. 1995. I was 18. And what this process is, how to learn to do something as quickly as possible and to get as good as possible. Skip all of the nonsense in the middle. And, you know, people are going to be like, no, you've got to do it like learn to walk before you can run. No, I'm going to teach you how to run straight away. And I've been doing that with guitar. So before I was 18, I sucked at guitar. I mean, I loved it, but I sucked at playing electric guitar. And then when I was 18, it all changed. What happened was, it was my 18th birthday, and what I wanted was the Steve Vai album, Passion and Warfare, and the guitar tab book. And I remember clearly my mum's brother and his wife, they were like, but we want to get you an 18th birthday present that will be something that you keep, remember for your whole life, and something that you don't, lose, or like something really, really, really cool. I've still got this tab book right here. And I remember like flicking through it and thinking like, this is really cool. Of all the tab books ever made, this is probably the coolest tab book that there is. You probably don't even know what a tab book is. This is where there was no internet back then, really, so you had to look up the notes. And this one was written and produced by Steve Vai, so it was right. I mean, half the tab books you bought, there was like some guy figuring it out in a garage and then making a tab book. And I sat with this book for 2 months, 3 months, something like that, and I got like tendonitis, like carpal tunnel syndrome, whatever. This tendon here was swollen. You could see it as like a line on my wrist. My fingers like didn't bleed, but the calluses were like ridiculous. And I remember like I had to stop playing in summer, in June, July. I had to stop playing. But by the end of that summer, I had been to a friend's house and recorded a demo of For the Love of God. And I could play anything. At that point, I could just play anything. Like, you listen to any Pantera, and I was like, yep, I could learn that quick. And the way I did that was went from like sucking at something to being really good as fast as possible. And I've used the same technique after that with drums. I've used it at work with learning to do stuff at work too. And I'll teach you how to do that. I'll teach you this method that I use, and I've used it my whole life for everything. Just skip all the middle stuff. And it was mostly my sports coaches when I was younger kind of inspired this way of doing it. So that's what I'm going to teach you too. Now, you might also think, well, am I doing this to be famous? No, I am not going to be famous. I don't want to be famous. The number of people in the world who like black metal music is quite small. The number of people who like grunge, 1990s grunge, thrash, is also not that many people. The number of people who like grunge and black metal, nobody's going to like my music. So I'm not doing this because I want people to like my music. I'm doing it because I like my music, and that's it. Okay, and I don't care if you like my music or not. I simply don't care. People who are really into black metal, they wouldn't even think that my music is black metal. They would be like, who's this loser? So I don't care, right? That's not the point. The point is not to sell records. That's a commercial thing. The point is to make music, okay? Because it makes you happy. I'm not going to do this to be rich, because I'm not going to make any money. I'm not interested in money. The reason I'm doing this is because if I look at the last 10 years, the amount of YouTube that I watched is just ridiculous. Like, I watch more YouTube than normal TV. I don't watch normal TV. Normal TV is like, what? We watch like streaming things occasionally, like crime series or like sci-fi fantasy stuff. My wife, I can't really persuade my wife to watch fantasy. She's more into like crime and sci-fi-ish, a little bit of sci-fi if I'm lucky. But you know, YouTube, I watch YouTube all the time. Everything's on YouTube. Like, if you think back when the internet first came out, people were like, oh, it's going to like change the world. Yes, it did. Because YouTube tells you how to do everything. I've watched channels on photography, painting Warhammer models, recording music myself, learning how to do vocals, how to do the whole thing. So what I'm doing, I'm going to like give back everything that I took out of YouTube from the last 10 years. I'm just going to give it back for free. Or maybe like if I get like 1,000 views, I'll get $1. I'll go buy an ice cream, or like half an ice cream. Or we're in Sweden, so it'd be like a quarter of an ice cream for $1. Yeah, so what's happening this week? This is going to be epic. This week is Malmo Massacre 2023. Now, I was at Malmo Massacre 2022, and it's a small festival in the middle of nowhere. Well, yeah, in an industrial estate in Malmo, right? And the bands there, I had never heard of any of them. And it was just amazing. There was one band, Mark Mott, from Norway, grindcore band. I'm not really into grindcore, but this band just blew my mind. I was standing there in the middle of this room after the gig was over. I was still standing there while they were packing up the stage, just like taking it in. They are so good. They were so tight. It just was not fair watching them play. Why? How? You know, it's like if you had a time machine, you could go back and watch Pantera play in the 1990s. Like, how are they so damn good? It's like that. That's the kind. That was Mark Mott, right? I don't have a video of Mark Mott. I've got some photos. I'll stick the photos in here while I'm yakking away. But it was just brilliant. So this time around, 2023, a whole bunch of new bands. There's a couple of famous bands who, Carcass and Cult of Luna. Never heard them. I don't listen to either of them, but they're well known. So, you know, could be interesting to hear those guys. So what I'm going to do in the YouTube channels, I'll try to do this every Odin's Day. It will be how to do something with drums, guitar, bass, vocals, or recording, mixing, that kind of stuff. maybe do some, if you stick around at the end, you can get some tips on general stuff that's got nothing to do with music. Depends what I'm interested in that week. I might put some stuff up about life in general, what I'm reading, what I've been watching, what's cool, you know. If you stick around for that, little bonus. If you don't stick around from it, fine. If you don't like my stuff, just don't watch it. I'm not going to force anyone. Unless I became like global dictator, then this will be obligatory learning in the school curricula around the world. Everyone will have to watch this. So yeah, enjoy. And I will be back in episode 2 for Malmo Massacre 2023. It's going to be an epic week. See you soon.